killer pulls out a cold sniper round. He quickly inserts it into the barrel and loads it. Then he sets up his sniper rifle, aiming through the 8x scope at a target not far away. But just as the target is standing still, the killer was about to pull the trigger. Something unexpected happened. Obviously, he didn't shoot. Why was the president's wife shot and fell to the ground? Jack was dumbfounded by the suddenness of the scene. While he was observing the scene with his 8x lens, he found a woman pointing a video camera at him. Then he realized that another reporter had called the police. He even pointed out his hiding place. He panicked and contacted his superiors. They immediately told him to abandon the mission and evacuate. Without thinking twice, Jack immediately dropped his sniper rifle. He quickly withdrew from the firing position. By now, the venue was in chaos. The woman who captured Jack's figure quickly turned on the video camera. She switched the videotape to a new one. The next moment, the police confiscated the video camera. Jack was already sliding down the stairs. He quickly arrived at the scheduled evacuation point, but when he looked outside through the window, he soon realized that something was wrong. Under the intense firepower of the other side, Jack could only rely on the corner to temporarily hide. But what he didn't know was, a large number of police cars were rapidly rushing towards his building, as if they knew where he was hiding. Then several pairs of heavily armed SWAT officers rushed up to the building. Jack heard the commotion. He immediately grabbed his sniper rifle. He used the butt of the rifle to slam into the floor. It was the only way he could get out. Just as the SWAT team broke through the door, Jack jumped down. The SWAT officers who entered the door started to shoot at Jack. Luckily, Jack's special forces background is very fast. He quickly retreated to the kitchen on the second floor, but the SWAT team behind him soon caught up with him. Then they threw tear gas bags at the kitchen, which only has one exit. In the blink of an eye, the whole room was filled with tear gas. Then the SWAT team rushed into the room, ready to arrest him, but they obviously underestimated Jack's skill. In just a few rounds, Jack knocked down the SWAT team in just a few rounds. Knowing that the first wave of SWAT was killed, the captain immediately called in other SWAT teams for backup, but there was no sign of Jack in the room. So he rushed his injured teammates to the ambulance, but no one realized the disappeared Jack is now beside them. It turns out that he had already thought of a way to escape, but when he turned around to leave the scene, he didn't know that another assassin had already set up his sniper rifle with an 8x scope trained on him. Set up his AWM sniper rifle on the roof. He instantly aimed at his teammate with the 8x lens. However, before he could pull the trigger, Jack stepped under a big tree. The dense foliage just blocked the line of sight, but when the killer locked on to the target again, Jack's figure suddenly disappeared. Seeing that the assassination failed, the assassin had to leave in frustration. But what happened? Jack was originally a member of the Special Forces, but during a mission, he accidentally killed his captain, so he was sent to prison. But 5 days ago, while being transferred to the courtroom, a group of unidentified men suddenly appeared on the side of the road. And then soon Jack appeared in a secret base. That's when he realized that the general across the street had arranged all this. The general had recruited him to form a special ops team. The first mission came soon after. It was to assassinate the rich man who secretly financed the production of viral weapons. But there was an accident during the operation. After escaping, Jack realized he was caught up in a conspiracy, so he changed out of his SWAT suit. But when he was about to leave the bar, he accidentally saw the woman who filmed him on TV. So according to the information on the woman's badge, he quickly found the hospital where he worked, and found the woman's home address through the hospital's system. When Dr. Mary returned home, a dark hand covered her mouth. Jack was already here. Then he asked Mary to hand over the videotape, and promised not to do anything to hurt him. But Mary pretended to agree. And the next thing I know, Jack grabbed the spray out of Mary's hand. He realized it was a bottle of breath freshener. When Mary refused to cooperate, Jack had to look through his bag himself. Luckily, he soon found the videotape. When he turned on the tape on the TV, he found the real killer of the president's wife. And this tape was the key to clearing his name. But before Jack could rejoice, another news item appeared on the TV. It turned out that the police had identified him and issued a wanted notice. So Jack decided to eat a full meal and leave immediately. But then he smelled something strange. When he saw the microwave next to the countdown, Jack realized something was wrong and dragged Mary out of the house. Luckily, Jack is very experienced. The two of them were able to escape, but as soon as they stepped onto the bridge, they were in danger again. Jack made sure that Mary would not tell his whereabouts. he got out of the car and hid. Unexpectedly, Mary was just questioned by the police. She told them everything about Jack. Jack seemed to know that Mary would do this. He went through the arch of the bridge to the other side, while the police chased Mary to the place where she was pointing. Jack calmly got into Mary's car, and they got the hell out of there. Jack then took Mary to a deserted base, where he'd been trained. Then he pulled out a special card, with the emergency contact information on it, and immediately contacted the director of the CIA, and told him that the president's wife was not the target, and told him the identity of his secret strike team. And based on the response time of the police at the crime scene, he immediately realized that Jack was being framed. At the same time, the general had taken over the operation to capture Jack, and the rich man at the scene of the assassination has put a $10 million bounty on Jack, in order to prove his innocence. Jack contacted a TV reporter. He gave him a videotape containing the truth. When the reporter returned to the TV station to announce the truth, the general was waiting for him. Then he took away the only evidence of the crime. It turned out that the general was the real mastermind behind the crime. He and the tycoon are in cahoots. They plan to make money together with the virus they developed, so they set out to kill the president's wife who discovered their plan. At the same time, Jack, with Mary's help, Jack found the records of the research at that time. He realized that the general was the mastermind behind all this. So he told the director of the CIA immediately, but the director said he could only help him if he had concrete evidence. So Jack went out on his own. He went straight to the general's base. He quickly found the laptop containing the virus data. Just as he was about to leave, he accidentally bumped into the general who was returning from an outing. Then he knocked over the guards who were following him. He took the general into the elevator. He found the key to the laptop on the general's arm. After controlling the general in the elevator, Jack climbed up the elevator to the top of the building. He soon escaped to a mall in the center of the city. After contacting the director of the CIA and explaining the situation, he immediately sent the information from his laptop to a reporter. The director was quick to send his men to arrest Jack. Then he called the general. He told him he had Jack and the information. If you want it, bring $5 million to the deal. The general had no choice but to bring the tycoon to the meeting. After the deal was made, the general wanted to get out of the case. He blamed the tycoon for everything. He ordered his men to take care of him. Then the general shot Jack in the chair. But when the man lay down, he realized that he was his own guard. Then the general realized that he had been tricked. The chief had already disappeared. Instead, Jack appeared on the second floor with a rifle. Thinking about his own experience of being framed in the past few days, Jack sent the general to God with a single shot. The general's plot was soon publicized. Mary also proved Jack's innocence. Jack finally faked his own death with the help of the director. From then on, he lived a comfortable life.